Everglades National Park is massive with over 1.5 million acres of wetlands, wildlife, and wild beauty stretching across southern Florida. We spent 2 full days exploring as much of this unique park as we could, from boardwalk trails to boat tours. In this video, I'm counting down the top 12 stops we made in Everglades, all places we experienced firsthand that we think you should not miss. Kicking off our list at number 12 is a quick and quiet walk through a side of the Everglades that often gets overlooked, the Pinelands Trail. You'll find it just a few minutes past the Ernest Visitor Center along the main park road. This short, easy loop takes you through a rare and endangered habitat called pine rocklands. It's a dry, upland forest that's completely different from the marshy landscapes the Everglades is known for. You'll walk along tall pines, saw palmettos, and wildflowers, with interpretive signs that explain how fire plays a vital role in keeping its ecosystem healthy. One of the coolest features of this trail is the ground itself. If you look closely, you'll spot exposed limestone with small pockets and pits known as solution holes. These were formed by acidic rainwater dissolving the rock over thousands of years, and they help trap water and nutrients for plants and small animals in this dry habitat. It's only about a half-mile long and takes less than 15 minutes to walk, but it's a peaceful stop and a great way to see how diverse the park is. We didn't see any wildlife here, but it's a nice contrast to all the water-focused areas and is rarely crowded. Coming in at number 11 is a scenic walk along the waterfront, the Guy Bradley Trail. Located in the Flamingo area of the park, you'll find the trail right behind the Flamingo Visitor Center, stretching from the campground area to the marina. This paved walking path follows the edge of Florida Bay, offering peaceful water views, shady trees, and a good chance of spotting osprey, herons, and the occasional manatee along the shore. It's a great and easy stroll, which is great for a morning walk or a sunset wind down after exploring the Flamingo area. This is an out and back trail that is just about 1.5 miles long in total, and it can be completed in under 40 minutes. It's not a long hike or a drastic overlook, but it's quiet and scenic with nice water views. Definitely worth a short detour while you're down in Flamingo. At number 10, we're staying in Flamingo to highlight the Guy Bradley Visitor Center, a newly renovated hub that's both scenic and informative. You'll find it at the very end of the main park road, deep in the southern reaches of the Everglades, right on the edge of the Florida Bay. This visitor center has one of the best waterfront views in the entire park, with its breezy second-story observation deck overlooking the bay and nearby marina. Inside, you'll find exhibits on the area's unique ecosystem, the history of Flamingo, and of course, the legendary Guy Bradley, a warden who gave his life protecting the park's wildlife. It's also a great place to ask ranger questions, grab a park map or stamp for your national parks passport. Number 9 on our list takes us to the heart of the mangroves, on one of the most atmospheric boardwalk trails in the park, the Westlake Trail. You'll find it just north of the Flamingo area, right off the main road between Snakebite Trail and 9 Mile Pond. This trail lets you explore part of the largest protected mangrove forest in the Northern Hemisphere. This short boardwalk trail leads you through a dense mangrove forest, creating a shaded tunnel of twisting roots and branches that almost feel like it's stepping into another world. The boardwalk eventually opens up to a small overlook of Westlake, a shallow, brackish body of water that's part of a larger chain of coastal lakes in the Everglades. Without this boardwalk, it would be difficult to reach Westlake through the tangle of mangrove branches and roots. It's only about a half a mile round trip and takes about 30 minutes to complete. It's definitely a hidden gem worth stretching your legs for on the way to or from Flamingo. At number 8, we're stepping out into one of the most unique environments in the Everglades, the Mahogany Hammock Trail. You'll find it just off the main park road, not far from Westlake and about halfway between the Cove Visitor Center and Flamingo. This short elevated boardwalk loop takes you over a freshwater marsh prairie and through a dense island of trees known as a tropical hammock. This is a slightly elevated island of tropical trees rising out of the surrounding wetlands. You'll walk beneath a lush canopy of Gumbo Limbo trees, air plants, ferns, and strangler figs, all competing for sunlight in this thick tangle of subtropical forest. The island was well hidden from historic logging activities, so trees have been able to grow to record size. In fact, it's home to the largest living mahogany tree in the United States. You'll spot it near the middle of the loop, towering above the rest of the forest. The trail is about a half-mile long and takes about 35 minutes to complete the loop. It's an easy, shaded walk that is a must if you want to experience the diversity of this park's ecosystems. Coming in at number 7 is one of the best ways to explore the Everglades from the water, the Flamingo Backcountry Boat Tour. These tours depart from the Flamingo Marina, located right beside the Guy Bradley Visitor Center at the southern end of the park. Led by a naturalist guide, this is a 90-minute boat tour that takes you deep into the Everglades backcountry through Buttonwood Canal, Coot Bay, and Whitewater Bay. Along the way, you'll learn about the park's ecosystems and wildlife with a good chance of spotting manatees, crocodiles, dolphins, and a variety of birds, especially if you go early in the morning. What makes this tour stand out is its peaceful, off-the-grid feel of the route. You'll glide through mangrove tunnels and remote stretches of water that you simply can't access by foot. The scenery changes as you go from narrow canals to wide open bays, giving you a real sense of how vast and interconnected the ecosystem is. The tour costs $48 for adults and $24 for kids, ages 5 to 12. Tickets are available at the Flamingo Marina store or online in advance, and it's one of the most relaxing and educational ways to explore the park. At number 6, we're stepping into a totally different side of Everglades history, the Nike Missile Site. This Cold War era military base is located just a short drive from the Ernest F. Coe Visitor Center. It's tucked away down a long side road that really feels like you're going into the middle of nowhere. This site is only open during the winter season between early December and late March between the hours of 10 to 2. Back in the 1960s, this area was a part of a nationwide missile defense system built to protect the U.S. during the Cold War and the Cuban Missile Crisis. This makes the site especially unique as it was placed here right in the middle of the Everglades, chosen for its strategic proximity to Cuba. Today, you can visit the preserved missile barns, see a real Nike Hercules missile up close, and hear stories from rangers about the soldiers who were stationed here and what life was like during this period of American history. Also, if you're a stamp collector, you can get a unique Nike Missile Site stamp here for your National Park Passport book. You can see everything in about an hour, and there is a free ranger guided tour that lasts about 90 minutes. It's not your typical Everglades stop. There's no wildlife, no boardwalks, but it's a fascinating historical stop. If you're visiting during the right season and can time it with a tour, this is absolutely worth a detour. Starting off the top 5 is the gateway to the Everglades, the Ernest F. Coe Visitor Center. You'll find it at the eastern edge of the park in Homestead, Florida, right at the start of the main entrance road. For most visitors heading into the park, this will be your first stop. This visitor center is more than just a place to grab a map. It's named after Ernest F. Coe, a landscape architect who played a major role in the creation of the Everglades National Park. Inside, you'll find beautiful and informative exhibits about the ecosystems and wildlife that make the Everglades so unique. as well as displays honoring the Seminole and Miccosukee people who first settled in this harsh environment. There's also a bookstore with souvenirs and collectibles, and rangers are available to answer questions or help you plan your route. Keep an eye out for the free ranger-led tours. The schedule is usually posted in several places throughout the center. And of course, don't forget to stamp your National Parks passport. Out back, there's a small pavilion that overlooks a small pond. We didn't see any alligators during our visit, but it's a peaceful place to pause before diving deeper into the park. If you're entering from this side, the Co Visitor Center is a must. It's a beautiful introduction to Everglades National Park. Coming in at number 4 is one of the most iconic Everglades experiences that you can have, an airboat ride through the swamp at Everglades Safari Park. You'll find it along the Tamiami Trail just before reaching Shark Valley along the park's northern boundary. The Safari Park gives you a thrilling up-close way to explore the Everglades ecosystems and sawgrass prairies that define this region. We took the standard 40-minute airboat tour and it was a blast. They do give you some earplugs, and it's a good thing because these are some of the biggest airboats that I have ever seen. Your airboat captain will take you on a tour of the Everglades and will stop and point out alligators, birds, and other wildlife. While the boat is going, it will be way too loud for any kind of narration, but if your captain sees an alligator, they'll stop the boat and talk about them for a couple of minutes. The airboat ride here also comes with an interactive wildlife show and entry into their wildlife park. The wildlife show is a quick 10-minute show where you can see some animals up close. And one of the expert handlers will get up close and personal to some massive gators. The wildlife park has a short nature trail observation tower and plenty of gators and crocodiles, including some free roaming in the park. There's a safari cafe here where you can try some unique bites. We shared the Call of the Wild platter, which comes with frog legs, catfish nuggets, gator bites, and fries. During our visit, the tour cost $47 per person, and you do need to pay for entry into the national park if you don't have an annual pass. Number 3 on our list is one of the most lush and immersive walks in the park, the Gumbo Limbo Trail. You'll find it in the Royal Palm area of the park, just short of the Ernest F. Co. Visitor Center. This paved loop trail winds through a dense jungle-like hardwood hammock filled with gumbo limbo trees, royal palms, ferns, airplanes, and thick tangles of strangler figs. If you visit during the wet season, usually from late spring through early fall, keep an eye out for the Florida tree snails tucked high in the branches or clinging to the tree trunks. It's shady, peaceful, and feels like stepping into a tropical forest. The trail is short in just under half a mile and can be completed in just under 30 minutes. The namesake Gumbo Limbo tree, sometimes called the tourist tree because of its red, peeling bark, is everywhere here. And while wildlife sightings aren't as common as on nearby trails, the plant life alone makes this worth the walk. In 1893, a botanist was exploring this hammock and was so in awe that he suggested the area be a federal park. It's especially nice on a hot day thanks to all the shade, and since it's paved and flat, it's great for families or anyone really looking for an easy stroll in one of the park's most beautiful habitats. Coming in at number 2 is the most famous and popular trail in the entire park, the Anhinga Trail. You'll also find it at the Royal Palm area right next to the Gumbo Limbo Trail. This loop is just under a mile and is one of the best places in the Everglades to see wildlife up close, especially in the dry season. The trail starts out paved, then transitions to a raised boardwalk that winds through sawgrass marshes, open water, and tree islands. And it's true to its name, you're almost guaranteed to spot anhingas, which are large snake-like birds that swim underwater and spread their wings to dry in the sun. But that's just the beginning. We saw alligators, turtles, herons, egrets, and massive fish, all just feet away from the trail. The animals here seem completely unfazed by people, which means that you can get incredible views and photos without needing binoculars. The trail skirts the edge of a freshwater slough, which is a slow, moving channel of water flowing through a sawgrass prairie. During the dry season, the slough becomes one of the many gator holes throughout the shallow river of grass. In these deeper pools, fish become concentrated, attracting gators, wading birds, and many other creatures. It's flat, easy, and accessible, which makes it perfect for all ages. And because it's such a reliable wildlife hotspot, it's often the first trail rangers will recommend when you arrive. If you only have time for one trail in the Everglades National Park, this is the one to do. And finally, at number 1 is one of the most iconic and accessible areas of the entire park, Shark Valley. Located off the Tamiami Trail, just an hour west of Miami along the northern boundary of the park, and it truly has a little bit of everything. The main draw here is the 15-mile loop tram road, where you can explore the heart of the Everglades. There is a 2-hour tram tour that takes you along the loop, but the popular thing to do, and my personal recommendation, is to bike the loop. Cyclists can bring their own bicycle or rent one here. Or if you're feeling very ambitious, you can also hike it on foot. The path is flat and paved, and it takes you straight through classic Everglades scenery. Endless sawgrass prairies, tree islands, and gators are everywhere. Seriously, there's hundreds of them all along the entire tram road. And they'll even sun themselves right next to the path or sometimes on the path. At the halfway point is the 70-foot tall Shark Valley Observation Tower, one of the few elevated viewpoints in the park. You can climb to the top for panoramic views of up to 20 miles of the surrounding wetlands. Back at the Shark Valley Visitor Center, you can find a small gift shop, exhibits where you can learn about Florida's 2 seasons, which are dry season and wet season, as well as the wildlife that you could see along the trail. This is also where you can book tickets for the guided tram tour, which is a great option if you're not up for a full bike ride but still want the full experience. The tour includes commentary from a naturalist guide and stops at the tower. But that's not all. Shark Valley is also home to 3 short walking trails, each offering something different. The Otter Cave Hammock Trail is a short 0.3-mile trail near the start of the tram road loop. The Hammock Trail gives you an up-close view of the solution holes that permeate the floor of the Everglades. The solution holes are cavities in the limestone where small creatures such as otters, crayfish, and frogs live. The Barrow Pit Trail is a quick little trail near the observation tower that passes by a small pond where alligators and turtles love to hang out. And the Bobcat Boardwalk Trail is a half-mile elevated boardwalk trail that takes you all through the Sawgrass Marsh. You could easily spend half a day or more exploring everything Shark Valley has to offer. It's immersive, exciting, and full of wildlife. If you're only visiting one area of the Everglades National Park, this should be it. Before we go, I also wanted to highlight a few honorable mentions we want to include. The first one is just outside of the park with a quirky Florida staple that's part fruit stand and part roadside attraction. You'll find Robert is Here in Homestead, Florida, just a few minutes from the Everglades National Park's main entrance at the Ernest F. Cove Visitor Center. This family-run fruit stand has been a local legend since the 1950s, and it's famous for its tropical fruit milkshakes, massive selection of exotic produce, and vintage roadside charm. The real star here, though, is their fresh fruit milkshakes. We tried a strawberry and a papaya milkshake, and they both were absolutely delicious. It definitely hits the spot after a long day of hiking. The stand also has a petting zoo in the back and plenty of shaded picnic tables to relax before or after your park adventure. It may not be technically inside the park, but trust me, your Everglades trip isn't complete without stopping at Robbie's. Our next honorable mention is one that you may find on many top Everglades lists, but unfortunately it was closed during our visit, so we didn't get a chance to experience it for ourselves. The Mahogany Trail is a short boardwalk loop located just off the main road between the Ernest Visitor Center and Flamingo. It's known for offering one of the best panoramic views of the Everglades with a raised observation platform that looks out over the park's vast river of grass. Since we didn't walk the trail ourselves, we didn't really feel right in ranking it against the other stops since we didn't actually visit. The trail is scheduled to reopen in fall of 2025, so if it's open during your trip, it's definitely worth checking out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found any of this information helpful, I'd love it if you would hit that like button and subscribe to discover more incredible places to explore both in Florida and beyond. I post a new video every week, and subscribing is the best way to make sure you don't miss a thing. Also, huge shout out to my channel members. You guys help keep this channel going, and I just couldn't be more thankful. If you would like to help support what we do here and get early access to our videos, custom emotes, and more, click the link in the video description for more details. If you want to see our full 2-day adventure in the Everglades, then check out the video that just popped up on the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.